All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. I got another watch list for you, and we need to talk about the big money sell-off. So, before we get into any intros, I got just two fun facts and two things to point out, and hopefully it gets you thinking. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So, first thing I'm starting with is Paul Volker and what I am calling for Friday and Jerome Powell, a potential poker moment. So, what a lot of people don't know, and I don't know if you heard this, let me know below in the comments, but there is an interesting track record of Paul Volker and IMF meetings and then what happens to the rate hike. So I got a couple examples to show you, but now what can happen is pretty much Friday, just like we saw at the beginning of the year with the whole congressional Fed thing, and that's where kind of Powell led things into. If we are gonna watch Powell have a Volker moment, maybe he learns from his predecessor, but like, let me show you what I'm talking about. Like, these are the things I'm talking about, like IMF meetings. I'm going to go over this a lot on stream, but this was 1980, September. You can see that they're even signed off by Truman. Look at Volker. He looks so beautiful, man, back in the day, the Throwback Thursday. But take a look at the rate hikes. So leading into that meeting, they moved the rates pretty much about 1% and then paused. And then a little bit after, it was like a 2.7% difference. But couple months after the IMF meeting, that quickly jumped all the way up to 20% by the end of the year. So within about 4 months of Paul Volcker attending an IMF meeting where they are talking about global inflation, that is when he begins his campaign to go for his second time at going after the rate. So I have another chart of when he assumed it. This is what I'm going to talk about on stream, or maybe I will make a YouTube short out of it. So follow me, but keep that one in mind. But now there's another thing. We talked about this today, and just in general with momentum selling, I want you to take a look at the S&P 500 in VWAP. So if you go check it out, I have a video. It's called My Favorite Technical Indicator, Why I Use VWAP. But usually VWAP is used to make big purchases or sells without distorting price. But if you notice, since Friday, we've been having a lot of VWAP sell-offs. And now you can't always draw a conclusion, but this could indicate kind of some more bigger or systematic selling, more or less. But you see it. We opened above it on Friday. You only went above it once on Friday. Never went above it there. Then the next day, we gapped and sold off at VWAP. You tested it one more time, sold off. Today, we got above it for a little bit. And then every time, whether we were right below it or getting to it, it got sold off. So all in all, coming into Powell and even how today played out, there is a lot of things we are looking for, but potentially Powell could be a historic moment. So we got a lot to talk about. I got all of that. I got more keys for the day. Got a couple of plays that I'm looking at and where we're going forward with other plays that we're holding, and then what to expect from Powell, everything else, and where the market goes from here. So drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. I know I was getting too hyped. We spent a lot of time. I better see you on stream. We gonna talk Volker in a lot. YouTube.com/the stock market, but run it, baby.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
And like, I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence, but I'm always wearing the Lakers shirt in volatility. I didn't plan, I didn't realize, I'm just saying, but as far as the keys and what we got today, it was a wild one. Remember, I brought up all of these charts. We talked about it today. There was a lot of things going crazy, but the currencies, they all pulled back today. We had a lot of bad data in the morning, and it was this back and forth move. But what I'm going to call it, it was a live look at the rate hike odds moving right before Jackson Hole. Pretty much, the bad data this morning, it made the market go up. Remember, that bad data being good news, people like that because that meant Powell will pivot. But now at Jackson Hole, only a couple days away, it was very hard for that idea of the pivot to gain traction. So then throughout the day, even pretty quickly, that sold off, and then rate hike odds came right back to where they were. And even though the economic data was bad, you didn't really get that good news, bad news, good today, because people are awaiting meeting tomorrow or Friday, excuse me. That's when Powell is going to be having Jackson Hole, and that could potentially be a really big driver. So that was the first key. The next thing, you had good earnings, and there was a lot of movement with oil today. Again, that data helped bring down the dollar, and there was a couple of other factors just in general with things not getting too worse. You did have a natural gas hiccup, and this is something, since we've been talking about commodities, you should definitely keep your eye on for, and this has to do with the difference between European gas and our natural gas. So pretty much keep watch of what's going on with Europe. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but now with natural gas here, what happened today, this is why I want to point it out. Here's the chart. It was a big drop. We got news that the LNG terminal in Texas, remember there was the explosion, then they said they're coming back online. They said today there's probably going to be a 1-month delay, so that brought it down. But why would it bring it down? Because remember, that's what this is showing you. So go all the way to the first dot when you could see the big drop. That was when there was that explosion, natural gas started going down, and then the two big candles on the upside, that is when they were talking about getting supply online and getting it on faster than expected. After the explosion, they were saying a couple of months and that it was going to take a long time, but then they little by little said, yeah, it's going to come on faster. So why I'm saying watch that, because Europe's still important. If you stop seeing the signal on our gas, doesn't mean that energy and commodities are one to ignore. And again, that's what you saw today. Energy was the leader, and all of energy, it's starting to get back up there. Oil is going to play a pivotal role now, because if it could get back 100, then you might see another wave of commodities. And then, I mean, we'll see how it factors into Powell. But that was the second key coming into the final one. Unless there is a black swan with Europe, again, the Europe recession, it is not a matter of if anymore. It's literally a matter of when. So depending on what happens or what goes on, big bankruptcy, more problems with their energy, I mean, literally, who knows? The market is probably not going to move until we hear from Powell. So that range of 418 or 407, this is what you need to watch. And we brought this up on stream. This is actually the second most amount of time that we've been at any level throughout the whole year. Pretty much all throughout the year, we've spent more trading days than not, the second most at this level. And it seems like with some of the action that we're getting here, even with the dollar and bonds kind of breaking out, until Powell speaks and the potential that is in Powell's hands right there, we probably won't move out of that range. So again, it's going to be anything like Europe or who knows, anything with oil that brings us down into Powell. Otherwise, now on Friday, the real question for momentum, where we go, it's going to be, does Powell use Jackson Hole as his poker moment? We will find out, and I hope you're ready, but let us get into the plays. Hey guys, before we get into the plays, I just wanted to remind you, the video has earnings tomorrow, okay? And I got a Hummer. So, right off the bat, I got 3 plays that we made today. One of them is going to be related to the poker moment. 2 of them are kind of random. I mean, related to volatility, and I did do a lot of day trades today, so we'll go over it. But first one, this one's kind of random, but LMT, I talked about it here early this week, just in case we get any more problems with Russia, escalation, who knows, even China. But in general, LMT is kind of like a defensive stock. So what I decided to do, I went with a debit spread. I grabbed the September middle week contracts. I grabbed a 445 call, and then I shorted the 455 call, paid about $2.30 a contract, got 3 of them. So it was about $690 there. But the reason I like the debit spread is because Friday, LMT was already at 445. So it's not like I'm going too far out. But if we do get any tensions or anything of that nature, or again, just even as a defensive stock that could withstand some other Fed volatility, I'm thinking this one could be pretty decent, but it is going to be risky. It's not going off of anything too solid, aka I could probably be really early. So I'll tell you with this play, even though it's the play I made, this is the option you need to watch, because if this gets dramatically cheaper, I think LMT will be very, very attractive, especially if we don't get any action this week. I think it could withhold, especially if it shows that. It has to prove it, so we will find out. But that is the first play. Now, play number 2, HYG. I talked about this yesterday, and I grabbed the put, not a call. Sorry if I misspoke. Shout out to chat. Y'all know me again, and God bless you. Appreciate it. But HYG, I have the puts, and I went with those September ones. bonds. They actually dropped today considering some of the bond movements, but here's the basic play. If there is a Volker moment and Powell really does use this opportunity to signal and it sets off a crazy trend here, I think the rates will go up a lot more. I brought it up here with all of the charts today. Essentially, if the dollar keeps breaking out, if the euro keeps dropping, if the yen keeps weakening as well too, essentially the only thing not playing along is the 10-year in bonds. And if Powell starts raising more, we're probably going to see a lot higher rates. So that will only happen if Powell continues this trend. So what I'm thinking with it, it's better late than wrong. So I like this September as the short term, but if anything, I might go for some more with time, but I want to wait till we get either closer to Jackson Hole, but most likely I'm going to wait till afterwards, get the reaction, and then we could go from there. Because remember, he speaks Friday morning. You're going to have the whole day. Don't expect the market to digest what he says completely. So I'm telling you, you should have a lot of time, but that is the second play. And then finally, number 3, baby, Tesla. Watch for the split tomorrow. I'm still short on that day trade with 8 shares. I'm down like $200 on it, but still holding it. I don't think it's going to crush me too much, but we're going to be able to maneuver it. But why I like Tesla for tomorrow, they got the stock split. There's a lot of hype and a lot of history. Every time there's a stock split, people get hyped. People like to buy it. But then on the reverse side, last time they had that stock split, they dropped 30%. So considering how it plays out here, it could be a good opportunity, but already in a play, and I'm probably going to be looking at that one for a day trade tomorrow. So those are the main plays. As far as everything else, I didn't make any other option trades. I am going to be looking at UNG. So like I said, I brought this up here, and really, given what we've seen on the last ones, I think it could move it about $3 to $4 immediately, and then there could be another $3 follow-up if the delays get bad. But pretty much, I wouldn't be opposed to getting another play around $28 or around like $24. But remember, I wanted that play last week. I lost on it, and I wanted to get it again. I haven't, and now it's kind of playing out in my favor, but that's kind of what I'm looking for after this news. But watch all the other factors. That's one option play I'll be identifying. But now, as far as the trades that I did today, we did a little bit of the day trading. I started with Palo Alto in the morning. I grabbed 10 shares at $5.58, sold them out at $5.66. I made like $75. Then I grabbed 100 shares at SQQ. I'm actually holding these ones overnight. We're up like 50 to like $60 on them, but I figured I'd hold them considering some of this volatility here, and it didn't move too much, and I had a lot of the other plays. I like the volatility exposure there, and it is a lot smaller, and that's the thing. With smaller shares, I could always add to them if I'm anticipating the next move. So the best part about only being up $50 to $100, if we really see a move coming, I could just really get a whole entire brand new position that could really recoup a lot real quick. So that's why I'm holding that one. We're up a little bit. If we let it run, that'll be nice. Otherwise, I think I could position around it pretty good. Then I shorted 100 shares of Zoom. I covered it. I thought it was a $40 gain. Got clapped on the market. Only got like a $12 gain or like a $20 gain, but that one ended up continuing downwards. And then I made a day trade on Ape stock after the Jim Chanos news. About 500 shares at $740. Thought it was going to break. I held it for a couple of hours there. It could not break the $740, and then I sold out at $712 after that, and then literally like 5 minutes later, CNBC puts the news on. It goes up to $760, but then comes down. I lost $150 on that. Then I shorted NVIDIA $721 to $771.70, made like another $30-40. But looking at the whole little like day trade thing, you could see all the day trades for today. I'm up $150, $100 realized win, $50 unrealized, and then unrealized $150 loss. It was pretty much break even after all of that. So we'll see what happens. Got some of those. Hopefully you've been enjoying that, but really writing out what we got here, getting ready for this. And if we get a Volker moment, Chad, I'm telling you, it can be historic. So I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, you gotta watch the volume. There's levels to it. Revenge trade, anger, going about it. I'm telling you, there is levels, but you gotta watch the levels. Don't take the biggest level. Don't jump to the immediate worst level where it makes you regret it. Stay in the game. Go small. Enjoy it. Watch the volume. Don't let the pride get in the way. Don't let a lot of things control the volume. Not too loud, not too little, bro. You on that Goldilocks, you gonna be good to go. It's called balance, baby. And I'm going to tell you one more time, you were made for this. I feel like I got to keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you keep hearing like you were made for. I don't think I'm speaking to you if it wasn't made. Like, you know, I'm talking yes. Amen. Let's go, baby. It's game time, Chad. Get ready. Again, it could be historic by the end of the week, so stay focused, but do not get too jumpy. What's yours is yours. Don't ever forget that. But I love you. Drink that water. Watch out for the Laker volatility shirt, and I love you. Peace out. Good night. Amen. Amen. I don't know. I haven't been that awkward. Have I been that awkward? I don't think I've been that awkward. I think I've been good. Okay. Amen. Bye.